Hello, everybody. I'm Monica, and welcome to Energy Medicine with Monica. This is your space for healing, freeing yourself from limiting patterns and beliefs. Each week, we come together to explore what is ready to be shifted by using consciousness based medicine, helping you to heal, align, and synthesize what is ready to be released. You are your own healer. I am simply the guide. Now, in today's work, um, I'm being drawn into a bombardment. It feels like that I'm trying to find and beyond a needle in a haystack. I can't see clearly. It's like trying to find a needle within the mud, and it's heavy. So I want to move away from that heaviness. It sucks me in. I feel almost like I'm going into this never-ending abyss, and so can't remember his name, but there's a great mind, and he says, "Be careful if you stare into the abyss or you stare into the void. One day that void will stare at you, or the abyss looks at you." So you don't want to get sucked into it. It's good to be cognizant of it, to see but that see what's happening, but first we need to bring it back to yourself. There's all of this focus on what's happening out there. So I'm quite guilty of this. I'm a very well trained human to my phone. Those dings and notifications have trained me really well. I'm no different than Maslow's dog. The phone bings, and I go and I pick up my phone to see, just in case, what I'm missing or what information is coming in. And it totally takes me away from the present moment of what I'm doing in the vertical, right? It brings me into this weird space, and I could feel myself almost being sucked in through my eyeballs, being sucked into this abyss. And sometimes I'll catch myself, or my family members, especially my kids, they'll go, "Mom, where are you? You've been sucked into the void." And that automatically brings me out. I was like, how much time has passed? What am I doing? Where am I? And I usually end up throwing my phone, like clear across the room onto the couch. Maybe you can bring for yourself those moments where being hypnotized by the phone and hypnotized by information, and then really getting involved with the information that you're seeing without using your critical thinking, without using your gut brain, without using that prefrontal cortex or that heart brain to look at this information and go, is this what I need right now in this moment? Is this a priority for me to be looking at everything going bad or everything going wrong, or those stupid videos? I don't know, I just call them doom scrolling or brain rot. It's just like you get sucked into that. Actually, I do. So you can see for yourself if you do, you get kind of sucked into it. So we need to rise above that. Okay, there's this thing, this phone, this device that sucks me in and brings me out of the moment, and then creates this almost polarity, like versus. We want to move away from that versus. If you're stuck with one way being the only way, or there's a burp, or this is absolutely right versus this is absolutely wrong, and creates that versus mentality even within yourself, there's something in there that could be explored. There's something in there that's niggling your attention for some self inquiry, for some self exploration, to see that, oh, it feels really strange. I feel like something's coming at my back. So we're going to just go ahead and bring in the Wei Chi for natural protection. Just because there's a disagreement or conflict doesn't mean that it's against, but it's turned, seems like as soon as there's a disagreement, that there's an against. And we will move move away from that. Okay, that drama's playing out, whether in your personal life or in your community. Draw away from against and come back to the consciousness of love, right? Rising above this, rising above. I'm neither here nor there. So I don't know the most, I don't know the least. I'm not two, not two. There we go. Now I can kind of see clearly like that. The fog is clearing and I can see clearly. So going into the senses, we're going to do a filter dump. We need to do like a brain drain to the senses. All of our senses have filters on them through experiences, through past lives, what's been handed down through our family lines, and then we've, got group consciousness that's affecting our senses, and then your beliefs, your own personal belief systems that come in and really skew the reality of things. And it's really hard now with computers and generated things. They've gotten really good. We can't tell the difference between what's real and fake. And so this is why the gut brain's really important. We need a really strong, clear, sharp gut brain to cut through the dross, to extract the wheat from the shaft. And then what's good for you. So everybody's different. So I'm going to link this to the prefrontal cortex. We're going to do bringing in the five senses. So sight, smell, taste, uh, skin, touch, hearing. And we're going to anchor this to the heart to individuate, to grow up, to dump those filters that are muting your senses, dulling your senses, or skewing them in one way or another. Oh, there was a nice breath. Now we're going into the pituitary gland. And this is the master controller of all of our hormones. And we really need to, the hormones just feel wonky. So if you think about a woman going through menopause or a teen boy going through maturation process, through puberty, the hormones can make us do wonky things, like it makes the system go funny. It affects sleep, it affects our body, it affects our systems, and it also affects our emotional, mental states, and it can skew how you see things. So we're going to do a balancing to the pituitary gland in relation to the whole endocrine system. And depending where you are on the spectrum, whether you're a male or a female, now I'm talking biologically. If you're a biological male and you're a biological female, the hormones are different and they move different ways through the body. And depending where you are, so if you're younger in your teens and your 20s, or you're on the older end of the spectrum, midlife, there is a different hormonal balancing that needs to be needed. So I'm going to link this to your prefrontal cortex, to the world's prefrontal cortex, and we're going to balance those hormones. Oh, that feels so nice. Bringing in a hydration. Oh, that feels so good. I don't know if you feel that my whole body's relaxing. Now we need to do a cleanup to that gut brain. I'm going to bring in the fourth phase of water. We need some easy water. It's not working so well down there, so you drink H2O and then it transmutes it into H3O, and there's actually a fourth phase of water where it turns into this gelatinous state. So we're going to do a repair to the those links between drinking water. So you drink the water, and then the small intestines and the body functions go ahead and transmute that to H3O, and then there needs to be a correction there, and like a performance. It's kind of like a performance. It's not working so well. So we're going to get that nice and cleaned up. And it's bunged up with too much information. So the gut brain's having a hard time working through all of this bombardment of information. If you think back even to maybe even 100 years ago, so about 1925 or early 19s, or even to the mid 90s. We didn't have internet connection. I remember being a teenager in the early and mid 90s, and it was the coolest thing to have a computer, but it was like a glorified typewriter. You couldn't do anything else on it. And if you wanted to hook up to the internet, it messed up the phone line, and you heard this horrible squeaking sound. And it just was so limited, and it's gone so fast. But that doesn't mean our body systems have adapted quite yet to the speed of which technology is moving, and the bombard, it really feels a bit like a bombardment of information telling you what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. Oh, and then creates all this divisions with even within yourself. So you can be having your own internal conflict, or you can be on gaslighting yourself. It's like, well, my gut's telling me one thing, my intuition is telling me one thing, but I must be wrong because this whole group of people are all look at all these pieces of information are coming in and saying that my what's right for me is wrong. But we don't want to be led by that. That's the thing, is to have an open mind to go, oh, let me see, where can I spot my own lies within my system? Is it that I absolutely think that I am right? Then there's something to be looked at. But that takes a good, healthy gut brain, and it feels over bombarded with information and gaslighting. So we're going to dump that starting off really high, actually, right closer to the lower lining of the stomach. And the stomach's responsible for digesting and breaking down experiences, breaking down information into small digestible pieces, and then it gets sent down through the small intestines, it goes through the duodenum, and then it goes through the small intestines, and then the small intestines goes to work, and it starts to separate the pure from the unpure. And here there's a confusion, not knowing what pieces of minerals to take or vitamins to eat, what to extract from the pure from the unpure. So I'm going to put this as a general sense. So it could be through food, it could be through water, it could be through supplements, it can be through experiences, it could be um, from information that you receive. We need to relax that, give some space for that nervous system and that digestive system to do its work to separate the pure from the unpure, the wheat from the chaff. Um, and look at pieces of information with discernment, with a strong analytical mind, that like a sword. So the sword in tarot is of the mind, but you've got an ace of swords. It's yeah, to cut through the dross, to cut through the gunk. So I want this intestines of mine to be working really well. And this is also where our immune system lives. So we're going to go ahead and help that immune system, that microbiome of the gut, to be really sharp, to spot what's not good, and then just cut it out before it starts to impact the system. And we're going into the adrenal kidney complex, and they're feeling really tired. So this is for anyone who's experiencing insomnia, sleep problems, sleep deprivation, any kind of trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, light sleepers. We want that to those thoughts that, that are kind of kicked up by the gallbladder. When you can't fall asleep, my grandmother always says an hour before midnight is worth more than 10 after. So the organs have a run on a Chinese clock, and the gallbladder needs to be asleep. It's best to be asleep before midnight. So then those thoughts get churned up, and you're awake during, let's say, the repair time of gallbladders. Not good. You start thinking all these cringeworthy thoughts, and you start going through, what if situations. It's just really not good. We don't want to be awake while gallbladder is doing its work. So, but the adrenals feel really overtaxed. So we're going to support those adrenal kidney complex. We're going to dump fear uh, fear of the future, fear of making a choice, fear of making a bad choice, fear of being reprimanded. There's all this fear around there, fear of being excluded, and it's not a healthy fear. This healthy fear within the kidneys keeps you alive. It actually keeps you safe. It goes back to prehistoric times. You hear a saber-toothed tiger, fear stops you in your tracks so the tiger can go, or you stop, you run, you fawn, but now it's gone a little it's gone pathological. It's just gone a little bit overboard. It's not the natural, healthy consciousness of fear within the kidneys. We need to dump that. We're also getting here an eighth chakra influence from past generations of war, famine, conflict. uh, Injustice, and that feels really strange to say, as sometimes it really seems like the ones seeking uh, the most justice have gone tyrannical and their actions have become unjust. There we go. So you can explore that for yourself. That last concept. Um, when I think I'm absolutely right about something, not like absolutely right, without looking at the flip side, my actions may become tyrannical. I may force feed my opinion down the other person's throat. It can even be in family, right? Let's say this is a general, very vague example, but let's say your child you ask your children to do the dishes, and you do the dishes one way and they do the dishes another way. And then you start to force your way of doing the dishes upon them, even though in the end the dishes get clean. There we go. So that's starting to, I'm going to drain that out of the kidneys. It's creating such a disharmony in there, bringing in some hydration through there. That hydration's working really nicely in the gut now. I've got a little bit of congestion coming up, so I make sure that the beliefs and these tensions within my body, where it's polarity, are draining nicely. The five senses look nice and clear now. All right, let's see what this does. I just want to I want to bring it back to the earth. So we're going back to the soles of the feet, kidney point one. The kidney point one is on the soles of the feet and it's in relation to kidneys. We want to make sure that there's a good connection to Mother Earth and the proprioceptors of your feet are in good connection with Mother Earth. And that feels really supportive. So it's on, there it goes. That was a really big release. This is a nice place to land. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Please drink lots of water and listen to your body. If you need food, then eat. If you need rest, don't force. If you notice some dust coming up, just watch it like a train. Don't get attached to the thought process. Just experience it like a train, like a cloud passing by. If you need extra support, please reach out. I'd be happy to help you with that. If you found value in this work, please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.